Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mike here at Game from Scratch, and today we have some more news on the Unity front. Specifically, Unity have just acquired another company called SyncSketch. Now, Unity acquiring companies isn't going to be a huge shock, and you can expect more of it to happen because Unity recently had a successful IPO. They are now a publicly traded company, and they are now flush with cash. They're also now beholden to shareholders, so they have to grow. They have to either grow or profit. So one of those two things, the easiest way to do that often is to buy other companies. Now, just back in November, Unity acquired Weta Digital. That's the VFX software arm of Peter Jackson's special effects company. That was a $1.6 billion deal. And then earlier on, we saw them acquiring Parsec, a remote desktop company. They make high-performance remote desktop capable of doing things like CAD and game development as well as game playing. That was a $320 million acquisition. And then on top of that, they also acquired companies such as Chili Connect, SpeedTree, Codex Software, and Artomatics in the past. So Unity acquiring companies is nothing new. And just yesterday, they picked up one more. And that then is SyncSketch. Now, SyncSketch, I got to admit, is new to me. I hadn't actually heard of them before now, but it's basically a collaborative tool. So if you're working in the cloud, which is, I guess, something we're doing more and more with remote work, with COVID lockdowns, and kind of a switch in the way that business operates in general. So this is an area that definitely makes sense to invest in. And what they're kind of, in a way, is a collaborative whiteboard experience for media assets. So we're going to take a look at it in just a second. Here is the Unity announcement. Truth told, there's not a lot here in terms of, there's no new announcements, no changes to pricing, no announcement of what's going to happen with the teams or anything like that. But that is the announcement blog of it. To kind of understand what is going on, it's probably easiest to take a look at SyncSketch themselves. So it's a visual collaborative tool. You can see it does work with Unity already. It's used at Activision Blizzard, which isn't the endorsement it used to be. So you can see here, kind of, I think this animated image kind of sums it up as best as possible. What they've done is they've frozen on a frame of film, and then they're making collaborative edits using their brush engines, so you can make feedback kind of how you like things working. You can do annotations for changes and recommendations and so on. As you can see, it was a single frame of animation within a sequence of video. On top of that, it's synchronous, so you can review your media offline or in real time with your team, so everybody should see the same thing. No skip frames or compression artifacts, so it should feel like you're in the same room. So they do have synchronous presentation there. And then there is 3D model review, so you can review static or animated 3D assets directly within SyncSketch, including shading, textures, and UV maps. And again, you've got the ability to do these annotations on top. And on top, when you're done, you can export out those annotations in a PDF report, so you can actually have everybody kind of gets meeting notes after you're done. So if you're working on visual assets, 2D film, 2D images, 3D models, and so on, and you want to work in a collaborative way, SyncSketch seems to be all about that. It is mostly about, again, these annotation tools working on top of things like 2D media, film, and of course 3D models. So you can share with anyone. You can basically send out just a link. They don't need to be signed up or anything special like that. It makes it easy to collaborate with people outside of your team. The presentation mode, so if you're doing presentations, well, everyone else just kind of sits there and watches. You do have that option as well. You've got smartphone and tablet support there. Again, I said you could spit out that summary at the end, this PDF summary support. So screenshots and all the annotations and comments from the session. So it's kind of like a digital media whiteboard if you want to look at it, even though they mentioned whiteboard later on. So you've got the ability to do sketches, animations, and share things over a timeline, and you can also do file comparisons. So yeah, that's kind of the idea behind SyncSketch. You can see some reviews on who have used it and so on. You can see also it has support for Unity, ShotGrid, and Maya right now. If you're interested, again, there were no announcements for changes in pricing, but pricing you're looking at Indie is $9 per user per month. Team is $19 per month per user, and then Enterprise is you've got to ask, you got to call, you got to pay. And that's where you've got to go to get that ShotGrid integration, by the way. Whereas Indie does have the Unity and Maya integrations, but if you want to get that 3D model viewer, you're at the team level. Now, it's interesting here, if you're looking for collaborative whiteboard with a with a 3D or 2D art bent, that seems to be the idea behind SyncSketch. Now, what I do find interesting is Unity already make tools like this. So, for example, they have Unity Collaborate, which gives you the team's ability to save, share, and sync their Unity projects with others. You've got other collaborative tools to work with as well. So will this be ultimately integrated into their solutions and projects that they're working on? Unity is moving more and more into the services space in general. So you come down here, solutions. They've got a ton of things in here for basically collaborative work. And this kind of seems like a complementary project to some of the other things that they work on. So it's going to be interesting in the end to see where Sketchfab ends up in their, or sorry, Sketchfab, SyncSketch ends up in their workflow area. You can see, again, it is now part of Unity. I've never worked with this project. I don't work in a team, so I don't see a lot of use for it personally. But I can see how this functionality, actually, to be honest, I can see how this functionality can be integrated directly into Unity and be quite useful. But I don't know if they'll keep it as a standalone project or if the intention is to fully integrate it. But it is another acquisition on the Unity front, and I'll be curious to hear what you think of this move. Let me know, comments down below. I will talk to you all later. Goodbye.